In a meeting with French press, Michel Barnier has said that Britain will still have to pay the £39 billion divorce settlement even if we leave without a deal. A story that's gone largely unnoticed in the English-speaking press is that Michel Barnier has claimed that Britain will still have to pay the £39 billion divorce settlement even if we leave without a deal. Now, Michel Barnier, who's of course the EU chief negotiator for Brexit, did say back in September that he believed the payment of that 39 billion quid in the Brexit bill could guarantee a UK-EU free trade agreement. But now he's stating flat out that he expects the EU to pay that entire fee in full even if we leave without a deal, even if we leave with no kind of agreement, no plans on future trade, nothing like that. He wants the fee regardless of what happens. Now, Barnier made the claims during a meeting on Tuesday the 22nd of January in his Brussels office, where he met Le Monde and two other European newspapers. Yeah, I know I'm probably pronouncing the newspaper wrong. So that newspaper asked Barnier specifically if the UK will have to pay in the event of no deal. And he said, "Concerning the European Union budget, we have always put it very simply. The totality of the commitment of the United Kingdom, as long as the country is a member of the European Union, will be respected. It will be more difficult to have them respected in the case of a no deal, but we will continue to insist. These commitments are of a legal nature in international law, and I do not imagine that the British will not respect their international commitments." Now, given that Theresa May has already said that she intends to fulfil commitments under international law, or at least commitments and obligations that the EU says that we have, this could be a very real issue. If Theresa May goes down the route of a no-deal Brexit, which is possible but pretty unlikely, then we could end up spending 39 billion quid just for the pleasure of it. An alternative that could be proposed by a Brexit Prime Minister, not Theresa May, would be to leave, begin trading on WTO, World Trade Organization terms, and withhold that £39 billion. Though some Brexiteers in Parliament have suggested on the rolling news coverage, I've noticed that even if we leave without a deal, or maybe as a way of sweetening the deal, we'll give them some of the 39 billion to try and create a withdrawal agreement that will pass in the Commons. Or one that doesn't come with the Irish backstop uncertainty, who knows? But a good option would be to leave on WTO terms and not pay a single bloody penny. And in fact, a recent poll showed that leaving without a deal at this point is actually the most popular Brexit option, which, not surprising to me. There was another interesting part of this interview, by the way, as well, that I wanted to share with you. When Michel Barnier was asked whether there would be a postponement of Brexit, this is what he said. If this question were to be asked, the heads of state and the governments would ask three questions. For what reason? For how long? They would also have a third concern, that this is possible prolongation might interfere with the democratic working of the European elections. We also have a democratic debate and European elections in the month of May. Seems to me that the EU and the British people seem to agree on only one thing, and that's that we don't want Brexit to go on forever. We're sick and tired of this. And the EU have European elections to focus on in May, and that's going to dramatically change the makeup of their parliament. The populists are surging right now, and the last thing that the EU needs right now is making more concessions on a Brexit deal while they're dealing with that. The British press have completely missed a story from Le Monde, a French media outlet, which talks about an interview they did with Michel Barnier in which he said the British people should pay the £39 billion divorce settlement even if we leave without a deal. He wants 39 billion quid of our hard-earned money for no good reason. This should be yet another sign to our Prime Minister Theresa May that the European Union isn't interested in really negotiating. They just want to get as much as possible out of the UK before we leave and then cripple us by making our market less competitive than theirs. No thanks. It's time for Theresa May to turn her back on these negotiations, turn her back on these con artists and crooks in Brussels, say no, leave on WTO terms, which is the most popular Brexit option according to a new poll. Simply leave, walk away and create a global economy for Britain, protect British interests, and say no to these anti-democratic thugs in Brussels. We're not funded by the government, we don't have big sponsors, and we certainly don't have massive donors. If you'd like to help support our work, please go to rebeldonations.com/thebuck.